Hi, I'm Matt from HockeyReviews.ca, and this is the Infinity Goalie Exosphere stick review. Now, I've had this stick since February, and so it's time to do a review and write-up for it. So right off the bat, thank you very much to Infinity Goalie for sending me this stick to do a review on. Now, I did not have to pay for it, so thank you to them for that. Really quickly, Infinity Goalie also has another website called jerseysmadeeasy.com, which is a website, and I'll overview it here, which is a website that has a step-by-step process of ordering jerseys for beer league or for your hockey team. And the idea is it makes it easier than having to send a bunch of emails off back and forth. And this one, you can get a graphical interface through it. But they're also extremely helpful through customer service, which was my experience when ordering this stick. Now, again, thank you for them for sending me this. So now we'll get on to actually talking about Infinity Goalie and their sticks. So Infinity Goalie is a company that is based in Canada, which sell made in Canada foam core sticks, as you can see there. And they have two different sticks. They have the Exosphere, which is this stick, which has the carbon reinforcements on the front of the paddle and doesn't on the back. It has the carbon reinforced blade. As you can see, so the blade itself is wrapped with a carbon wrap and has bus bumper material on the bottom of the blade for durability. When the Stratosphere does not have the carbon weave or reinforcement in the blade, but does have it on both sides of the paddle. That one is slightly less expensive than the Exosphere is, but regardless, this Exosphere sells for $129.99 as a single stick. You can buy 3-pack custom ones for, I believe, $399.99, and that gives you the different curves, different lengths, and your color combinations, where when you buy the in-stock sticks, it's whatever they have. So it's like a cheaper way to get a custom stick without having to buy a 6-pack from like CCM. And yeah, that's basically it for that. The idea about this stick is it's the most durable foam core you can buy because of the carbon wrap blade, because of the carbon insert, and because of the bus bumper material at the bottom. I'm a huge fan of this. I usually have my blade split right here of the heel. That's where mine rub the most, and the foam core on the inside, like right here, just starts delaminating and falling apart. So this bus bumper material, the idea is it doesn't let water and moisture get in there and holds it together better. So far, that has been my experience with this stick. The other idea is the carbon on the front of the shaft is to strengthen it and to keep it stiffer, while on the back, there is no carbon strips. So the back will flex more than the front will, giving the stick a better kick when you're shooting, when you load it up. Whether that works or not, I can't really comment on it. The reason being, I don't have the Stratosphere to test it side by side, and I'm not the best puck handler. I try to stay in my net because I'm pretty bad at it, to be completely honest. With that said, I've enjoyed my time a lot with this stick, and I'll get to the shooting later on. So the top of the shaft itself has carbon inserts as well, strips well for durability all the way through. I'm not going to talk about what actually this stick is made up of, just because that will be in the written review, and it's just basically reading off a spec sheet, and that's not as important as the actual usage of it, so I'll get onto that. I do think the aesthetics of the stick look great. Now, these aren't my colors by any means, but hopefully you can see it. The silver paint is a nice metallic paint, so it does look good and light, and it kind of has a little shine to it. And paint job's pretty well done. It's not overly the top design, but it is pretty noticeable. I think the back is fantastic, the way it's a different design than the front. Other companies have been doing this for a while. I'm not sure who started it. I know Infinity's been like this for quite a while, but as you can see in the NHL, the back paddle usually has the type of stick, and the front would be the brand, so kind of similar, I guess, in this case. Now, the stick is a foam core made in Canada, and I got a price curve, and the price spec version has a rounded toe, not a square toe, and it's a heel curve. I'll try to get this on camera right now, but it's kind of tough. So hopefully that shows up. So that is like the heel curve. Basically, you try to shoot the puck off the heel. I'm trying to get as close as possible. You shoot the puck off the heel and it ramps up, and it's easier to raise. So for me, it's easier to do saucer passes or put pucks off the glass, something I'm not very good with, so that's a benefit. So performance of this stick has been phenomenal. It's not the lightest stick I've ever used, and Infinity Stratosphere will be a lighter stick because of this carbon weave, and without it doesn't have the bus bumper material. But lightness isn't always something that you need, and I don't mean it's not a benefit, but the difference between this and the other sticks I've used was so minimal. It's like 30-40 grams, and on a goalie stick that's not an issue at all. The balance is great, and I never feel it's cumbersome or any of the stick weighs more than the other. Like with one of my Reebok stick, the blade feels really heavy compared to the rest of it, but this one is really good for that. One of the things about this stick that isn't totally true about all their price sticks, but it is specifically with this one, is that the shaft is actually a few inches shorter than normal. And that's actually a good thing in my eyes for some things. Now, the idea is you have more puck control when shooting, and so some people like to cut that down. It saves weight. The other thing that's really good is when you're moving, I'll insert a little clip of this. When you're moving from one side to the other and kind of like almost desperation, sometimes the very top of the shaft, like when you're going so I'm right-handed, right? So if I'm going from my left to my right and my blocker is tilted a bit, the shaft can get stuck in the post. Because this shaft is a little smaller than normal sticks, it's harder to get stuck in there. It still does once in a while, but I just had more maneuverability and it was easier to get my hand like from this to wrap it around the post. So that's always a benefit in that sense. Now for shooting, I had problems with the shaft length for shooting, because when I would when my blocker hand would be at the top and then my glove hand would be here, the blade wasn't sitting flat on the ice. Now I'm 6'3" off skates, so on skates 6'5". So what would happen is when I went to shoot, the blade naturally is more like this. So I don't have as much. I have to adjust basically. It doesn't feel totally natural to me. I might be able to change this with practice, but I don't have enough time to practice. And to be completely honest, puck handling is not something I really worry about when I play. But it's just something that I couldn't really get used to. So if I did order another one, I would prefer the shaft to be a little taller. Now, Infinity does have a good sizing guide for their sticks on their website. I would check it out. Goalie Monkey has something like that too. But check out their size if you're thinking of ordering it to make sure it's the same as what you have now. I think this one was about an inch smaller than the stick I was using previously on the paddle length, but it worked out fine for me. It wasn't a huge difference there. I'm not that picky for that. So one of the most important part about a stick, I guess, for me is durability. But durability and performance. So it's a mix, a blend that you have to get really good to actually be able to use a decent stick. You could buy a wood stick that weighs too much and you can feel vibrations, and they're not the best. But you still want something lighter and something like a foam core that will reduce those vibrations when pucks hit it to last you. Now, my problem, like I mentioned before, was my blade split right here. Now, I did do a video of trying to fix that with Gorilla Glue on a previous stick, so I suggest you check that out. So my blades would split right here, and this bus bumper material so far has been awesome. The whole blade of the stick has been great so far for me. Now, there is a carbon insert right here. You can actually see it, like the 3D texture basically right here. So there is a carbon insert there for added durability, and like I said, this blade has been holding up really well. As you can see, it does show signs of use. Like, it's definitely use. It takes a beating, but it's not in bad shape at all, and it's still solid. So I can bend it and it doesn't crack. Like, I don't feel any weaknesses on it anywhere. There is some, like, as you can see, like exterior coating blemishes, but like that's not a crack. It's just the exterior coating. Everything there is fine. As you can see there, the one area that kind of shows this bus bump material has like been peeling off a little bit, but that was like that really early on. It hasn't gotten worse. You can see some wear in the carbon right here where the stick is all along the ice wearing out, but the bus bumper is still holding up strong, and that's the important part to me. So that is looking good. Now, another area of wear for me is always right on the top right here. So as you can see how there's a little chip right there, and you can see how it's kind of been punched in by pucks, especially right there. So pucks hit this and they bend it, and you can actually see some damage on there. But the stick is holding up great, and it's only superficial so far, and I'm really happy for that. We'll look more along the paddle and the edges just to show it. Now, when I bought this stick, obviously the edges, you could run your fingers on it and not worry about getting a sliver. That's mostly the case, but there is some spots that you can definitely feel. As you can see, just the puck damage. Like, so right here is still all pretty smooth. It does get a little like slivery right there. It's good all through there. All through there, there's some damage there, but again, it's not that bad. Right here, and here's a bad one that you can actually feel. Right there, it's coming up, so that really got in there as a good dent. But again, the structure of the stick is still fine. I'm not worried about that breaking, it's just the edges. More there, and here is a really good one. Hopefully this will show up, where it's dented right on there, and you can feel the carbon underneath. So again, a big dent. It's taking damage, but it's holding up well. Again, more on the bottom. Bottom, some post marks. Now again, I don't slash my posts, or I don't hit my sticks hard against the posts. I take care of them pretty well, so it won't break in that sense. So there is a little bit of right here too, the foam, like it got squished, so you can kind of feel that with your fingers. But so far, it's been excellent. So this one, I can run my fingers hands along still, not feel any slivers. It is getting a little, like you can feel it where the puck's hit right here, and it's kind of feeling like it's coming out a bit or getting a bit damaged, but it's nothing too bad yet, which is a huge bonus. On the other side, all the red is from the post. Now the top is where I always destroy sticks, because I use this part of my stick to find out where my post is, so I know where I am for angle wise. And this is another place where the smaller shaft kind of bothered me, because when I'm playing further out, I have to reach out more back, and that's kind of annoying, but it's a small price to pay. But yeah, so far, as you can see, the shaft and the blade and the paddle have held up wonderfully so far for this stick, and that's a big bonus. That's what I'm looking for when I buy sticks, is something that I won't have to replace in 3 months. I should be able to get 6 months or longer out of it, and this stick so far has held up for that. Now the next thing is shooting. Performance, I already said, is really good. Vibrations and stopping pucks are minimal at best. Like, it's a foam core stick, it does its job very well for that. I've never had my hand stinging or tingling after that. It's been great. The balance is great. I feel my poke checks are not great because I'm not very good at it, but okay with this, and I can handle it pretty well. I have batted quite a bit of pucks out of the air with this stick, which is something I haven't really been able to do before. And surprisingly, well, one of the last games I batted out right to the other team who scored. But the fact that I could actually hit it out of the air is something that is new from just using this stick. And again, it's a balance thing, just like how the weight is. Now shooting, I haven't shot better with a foam core stick before. Actually, I haven't shot better with a stick period before. I'm going to be using some composites in the future, so we'll see how that works. But for a foam core, I have more confidence using this stick than any other stick. I have made breakout passes from my end to the other blue line. And again, I'm not a great shooter, so it's not going to be a saucer pass, like chest high. This is just me getting the puck to them. But I've also been able to ring pucks around the boards better, chip it over players, opponents' sticks. Usually I use a Turco grip. And so if you don't know what a Turco grip is, I'll mention that really quickly, sorry, I got to move this. So usually when I shoot, I use a Turco grip, which means when your glove hand is facing down and kind of holding it like this, or up here, and you shoot like that. So your hands are kind of like this. I find that gives me a decent ability to load the stick to shoot the puck harder. And I have harder holding it like this, like Carey Price and them do. I have a practice palm, and I could just never get my hand to really work with the stick like that. So I do tend to use the Turco method more. And again, I find that works pretty well for me. With this stick, I can't shoot it over the glass unless I really try, and it wouldn't be that hard. But with the curve and with the stick, I am able to fire off a decent shot to some teammates. Again, I'm not a good puck handler, so anything being good is a good thing. But the other thing that I found was super helpful is because of the curve, I've been able to use the more standard or the price way where your glove hand is open at the bottom, and I've been able to kind of lift the puck like this just over opponent sticks. So what would happen would be if a player is coming in on your net and so if you're in the corner with the puck, players coming here, your guy's right there, you don't want to rim it around hard. You just basically want to wait for the player to come, because they usually won't come after you, they'll come in between, and you can just like saucer it over the other player's stick. I can't really saucer pass like I can as a player, as a goalie, but I can get the puck over their stick and off the air or off the ice, which because of this curve, so I'm really happy about that. When I purchase a goalie stick and look at goalie sticks, I don't look at shooting as its main reason for it, or like the top reason. I look at durability and performance, which is the balance and how it plays, like if I'm still mobile, stuff like that. But with the added confidence that this stick has given me, and my confidence in the stick itself, where it's not going to fail me, and like I'm not going to flub it to an opponent and give it away, it could lead to a goal, or I know I can actually shoot it off the boards hard, it really is that much nicer. Like it's something I'm happy about, but it's not my main concern. With this stick, I think you get basically the best of both worlds when it comes to foam cores. You get a well-balanced stick, one that looks great, that's not a huge thing, with great durability with the carbon wrapped blade, the carbon insert, and the bus bumper material at the bottom. And you get like great balance. Like it's the best overall stick and all-around stick I've ever used. There are lighter ones, but I would just come back to this one all the time. So I'd very much recommend it for that. The custom deal is pretty awesome as well if you're grabbing custom pack of goalie sticks, where you can get custom colors, like the pattern, you can select different patterns, stuff like that, obviously. So I just have to thank Infinity Goalie for sending this to me, because like I said, it is my favorite stick I've ever used. It's instantly become my primary, and it's going to stay there until I get composite to use. If it wasn't for the fact that I want to test more stuff out and review them, specifically composite goalie sticks, I would buy another one of these in a heartbeat. So I would definitely recommend them and check them out. Their website will be in the description at infinitygoalie.com. Also can be seen right there. So thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave it below. Again, remember to check out the written review with pictures on hockeyreviews.ca, which will be in the link below, and as well you can find it on at the end. Check out my other videos. And again, I hate to do this, but it helps me get stuff like this stick to do reviews on. Subscribe to me on YouTube, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Both of those will be at the end of this. They'll show up on the screen, and it's always in the description. But again, thank you very much for watching, and take it easy.